Good morning, good morning. Thank you for watching my channel. I'm Rhonda and you're watching Keeping It Real Country Cooking. This morning I have been having a craving for some cinnamon and raisin bread. And I'm going to make 2 loaves of bread. I'm going to make a plain loaf of bread. Then I'm going to make the second loaf, I'm going to make the cinnamon and raisin. And I thought maybe y'all would like to hang out with me while I make them because it's a simple, easy recipe. It's pretty much a no knead. If you've got a stand mixer, you don't have to knead it at all. Okay? So, let's get to it. Okay, as you can see, I've got my stand mixer here. And you might have to cover your ears when I get to mixing, or I can just come back after I finish mixing. But you need 2 cups of very warm water, no more than 110 degrees, okay? Then you need 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. It doesn't matter what kind. I'm using the quick rise yeast today, okay? So I put my water in this bowl here, and it's still warm. I put my yeast in here, and that's 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. Then you've got to have 1/4 cup of honey or sugar, granulated sugar. Okay, I'm using the granulated sugar. Now, not only does the sugar help with the feeding of the yeast, okay, it acts as a food source for the yeast, but it also influences the fermentation, in the rise. And it helps retain moisture, and it helps with browning, okay? That's why I put a little sugar in my biscuit, in my flour when I make my biscuits, because it helps, the browning of your biscuits. And y'all, bear with me because my allergies are back in the swing of things. Okay, now we've also got to add some type of fat. Now, I've got 2 tablespoons of butter, and I melted it in the microwave. I didn't want to have it too hot. I didn't want to kill my yeast. So I'm going to add that into my liquid mixture here. You can also, if you don't want to use butter, you can use 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a good olive oil, or vegetable oil. It's whatever you like. Just make sure you add some type of oil, because that helps with the flavor, and it also helps having a softer crust. It helps with the elasticity of your dough. So, you know, you got to have some type of oil or fat for that, okay? So far we've got 2 cups of warm water, 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, 1/4 cup of sugar or honey, okay? All right, 2 tablespoons of butter, melted butter, or oil. Okay, and we're just going to give this a little mix, and it's frothy. If you can see, it's already frothy. If it doesn't get frothy in about 10 minutes, then you need to toss it before you add your expensive flour or any of these other ingredients, because that means your yeast is not alive. You don't want your water no hotter than 110, because it will kill your yeast. And if it's too cold, well, it's just going to take a while for them to get going, okay? All right, so we've got all that in this bowl, and we're just going to give it a little mix. Hold your ears, y'all. All right, that's good enough. Now, I'm using bread flour. That's what the recipe calls for. If you don't have bread flour, all-purpose flour would be just fine. I would not suggest using self-rising flour. I mean, that's just me. But if you use all-purpose flour, you're not going to get the same results because the bread flour has more protein in it. Okay, you're going to get a better, when you want to slice it for sandwiches or something like that, you're going to get a better crumb. So if you can, get you some bread flour because it's not expensive. It really isn't. You can get a good bread flour at a very reasonable price. All right. So now we're going to start adding our flour. Now I've got my flour already ready, and I just took a whisk and I just kind of sifted it a little bit. Now I'm going to add some salt in a minute, but I don't want to add my salt directly to my yeast because salt will kill your yeast if you do it directly onto it. They don't like it. So start adding your flour. And the reason I haven't added it to this flour because I'm not sure if this is going to take 5 cups. You know, different days, flour does different things. You know, it just depends on where you live and the humidity and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to add my salt as soon as I start adding my flour. Okay. All right. Let me get some of this in here, and then we'll turn it back on. And I hope y'all make this recipe. Don't let this situation intimidate you. It is not hard. It is so not hard. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add our 1. There's 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Don't forget your salt, y'all. And sometimes I add just a little extra. Now, if you're using salted butter, you don't have to add as much salt, but it's just whatever you like. But don't forget your salt, because if you don't put salt in your bread, it's going to be flavorless. It's not going to be good, because salt brings out flavors. Y'all know that. All right, now we're going to get to going on this. And once you get your dough ball made, you want to let this continue for 5 to 8 minutes until it's not sticking to the side of the bowl. And when it stops sticking to the side of the bowl and it looks smooth. All right, let me add the rest of my flour. I love making bread. And if your dough is too wet, just add some extra flour. If it's not enough, just add. If it's too dry, just add a little bit more water. All right, let's see how this does. Start it slow, or you'll do like I just did and get flour all over you. Let me slide this thing over a little bit. Now, I may have to add a little bit more fluid to it because it's been very dry here. We haven't had any rain for a few days. So I'm going to wait and see what happens here in a minute. Or I may have to add some flour. You just don't never know. You just have to wait and see. You don't want it too dry, but you don't want it too wet. And it's about 4.5 to 5 cups, y'all. And you just want to let it go. You can go off and do something for 5 minutes. And I like to kind of stop it and kind of scrape it down a little bit. You don't have to. I just always do. And if you want something a little more buttery, you can add some more butter to it if you want to. Like you can cut up a couple of tablespoons into small pieces and add it while it's going. I've done that. Daggone allergies, I'm telling you. So I'm going to let this go, and I'll be back in just a few minutes, okay? Oh, and you want to do it on medium-high for 5 minutes. 5 to 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, y'all, this dough is sticky, but I have put some butter on my hands, and I'm going to take half of this dough, if I can get it out of this bowl. Because it's still kind of sticky. Alright. I'm going to put the, I'm going to cut this in half and put 1/2 back in the bowl for my raisin and cinnamon. Okay. I split the dough in half because it makes 2 loaves, of course. And I soaked about 1/2 cup of raisins in some hot water. Because if you don't, then it can take a lot of the dried raisins can take a lot of the moisture from your bread. And, you know, we don't want that. And I've got about, let's see, how much? I got about a teaspoon and 1/2 of cinnamon. I just put about 1/2 teaspoon in there to begin with. And I'm only going to add a few raisins to start out with. And I may add more raisins. You just don't want to add too many because it can keep your bread from rising. Okay? You can add dates, whatever kind of fruit you like. Cranberries. Just make sure that you rehydrate them some so it won't dry your bread out. You just want to mix it up. And I'm going to add some more cinnamon. And I think it's pretty well incorporated, I hope. If not, then I can knead it. There we go. Just takes a little bit, but it'll get it in there. And I don't want to add any more flour because I don't want to make my bread dry. So just grease your hands to get the dough out. And I'm going to put this in a clean bowl. Okay. So I put it in a buttered bowl. This is the cinnamon and raisin. And you want to cover it up. And then I've got the other covered up. And you're going to let this sit until it doubles in size. It takes about 35, 40 minutes. sit it somewhere warm. And then we will get to the rest of it. I've got some old loaf pans that I've greased and put some parchment paper in them. I got 2, so I've got those ready. Make sure you spray it with something. As most of you know, I have a screened-in back porch, and that's where I put my dough. And if you have a sunroom or something like that, you could sit it out there, and that would help make it rise faster. Okay, y'all, it's been about 30 minutes, and everything looks good. This is supposed to be like a 1-hour bread. And you want to just dump it out. On a lightly floured surface. And flour your hands a little bit. And then you just want to press it. And it might be a little sticky. But try to press it out about the size of your pan. It smells so good, y'all. Alright. That's about right. Okay, then you want to fold these ends like this, and then just tightly roll it up. Okay, like that. And then just kind of pinch that. Put the same side down and just kind of fluff it up a little bit. And lay it in your pan. Like this. And you can bake it now. It's supposed to, now this recipe is supposed to rise about this high. About that high. If you want it to rise higher, then let it proof a little bit more. You can let it sit for a few minutes. And that is the cinnamon and raisin. Now we've got the plain. It's not as sticky because it don't have those wet raisins in it. Smells so good. It's a nice dough too. And have your oven preheated. And just roll it up tightly. Now this one has risen more because it doesn't have the raisins in it. As I told you, when you put ingredients in a dough, it does inhibit the rising a little bit. Okay? Alright. So I'm going to wait about 10 minutes and then I'm going to pop them in the oven and they will cook. Let me make sure I got that correct, y'all. 28 minutes on 350, and you do not want to overcook it. 28 minutes is about the exact time that it's going to take to cook these. Alright, so I'll see y'all in a few minutes. Hey y'all, so I cooked it about 35 minutes because it didn't feel like it was all the way done, so let's just hope and pray. You want to put it, phone cut off again. What I was saying was you want to put it on a wire rack so it won't sweat. And you want to let it cool really before you cut it, but this is our breakfast. That looks good. Now, if you let it cool, it's gonna still cook while it's cooling. And that's. Did you know that, Randy? Yeah. I made some butter, some honey butter. I just put a couple of tablespoons of butter, a couple of tablespoons of honey, some vanilla bean paste, and a dash of salt. You want the end piece? You do?
That's good.
Okay. Alright. There's the taste tester. I need to get you a shirt that says official taste tester. It looks delicious.
Good.
Like I said, if you let it sit, you're supposed to let it cool really before you cut it. It makes the crumb better. But this is our breakfast. I don't know why he does that. Why do you do that?
Because I don't want to sit here and eat in front of everybody.
That butter's good.
You show them how to save on toilet paper.
What?
I could show them how to save on toilet paper.
That is so good. Paula, get him. Y'all, it is so good. Y'all got to make this bread. If you want it to be higher and proof more, just let it sit in the pan until it, puffs up. But this is supposed to be a 1 hour bread. You like it? It is so good. No dipping.
Just before more. Okay.
Look at there. Oh my word. You want some of this one too? You don't want a regular piece? You're not gonna sample it? That ain't right. Oh, that's good too. All right, y'all. I will put the recipe. It is delicious. In the description. Y'all need to try it. It is wonderful. Love y'all. Please share and subscribe if you haven't. I would appreciate it. And I'm going to be making some more pasta soon. I promise. It's just been a lot going on. We got doctor's appointments today, so I probably won't do a video this evening. Okay? Bye, y'all. I wanted to come back and tell you, try to let your bread cool for at least 30 minutes or so before you cut it. You'll get a better crumb because it's still going through a cooking process. We just didn't have that kind of time this morning. But I wanted to also tell you, when you're making your raisin bread, you can soak those raisins in whatever you like. Brandy, rum, You can even put a little vanilla and whatever you like. Orange juice, pineapple juice. You can soak it in any kind of alcohol that you like. And just soak it till they start plumping up and then drain it. But anyway, I hope y'all make this. It is delicious. I'm telling you, it is so good.